I'm not saying it's boring, I'm just saying there's a lot of debate over the same thing of Jesus is God, is Jesus God, is... People ask me all the time, Jegaysus, how did they decide what the church believes? Well, churches gathered in ecumenical councils. The Roman Catholic Church recognizes a total of 21 councils. The first 7 are recognized by Protestants. Here they debated all matters of theology, such as, was Jesus a man or a god? What is the Holy Spirit, anyway? Of course, my favorite, the Third Council of Constantinople, where they decided, are those other 4 councils what we still believe? You guys? Starting, of course, with the one that you might know, the Council of Nicaea. Yeah, I know about Nicaea. That's where they decided which books made it into the Bible and which were out. No, that's a common misconception. It actually wasn't about books at all. The Council of Nicaea was specifically about denouncing Arius and his heretical beliefs. What's the Council of Nicaea, though? The Council of Nicaea met in 325 AD, where they were going to decide on Orthodox canon. Specifically, was Jesus divine? Or was he man, because he was born and had a beginning? Okay, so a whole bunch of clergymen voted on what was true. Okay. Right. And the vote would have been unanimous, except 2 people didn't sign, and then they were banished from the country and the church. And historians think that maybe more people wouldn't have signed, but they were under this threat to get kicked out, so... Just like that, the Trinity was now doctrine. The God, Father, and the Spirit, all the same, and everyone would live happily ever after again, and no one would question that until, like, 100 years later, the Council of Chalcedon. After Nicaea was the First Council of Constantinople, where they really had to, nail down what the Holy Spirit was. Thank you. Ultimately, they decided that the Holy Spirit was, and I quote, is the Lord who is worshipped and glorified together with the Father and the Son. You know, establishing that they were equals. Okay, what's the third council that decided church doctrine? The Council of Ephesus in 431. It rejected Pelagianism, which is the idea that humans could probably lead a morally perfect life if they tried. Yeah, they got rid of that because, you know, original sin says you were born evil and sinful, so. Oh, and of course they confirmed again that Christ is human and divine. They have to confirm that, like, every time they meet. The next council I'm going to talk about is kind of like Nicaea. It's the Council of Chalcedon. They met to try to discuss monotheism as being a heresy, but here's what makes Chalcedon fun. Both sides were kind of held in contempt. Both had people arrested for heresy. Finally, Pope Leo sent his entire delegation to end the dispute. Even though people were arrested on both sides, they finally decided that Jesus was divine and human, two-natured, not mono. After all that Chalcedon drama, there was the Second Council of Constantinople. Don't tell me, was it all about the same things? You know it was. Emperor Justinian actually called it to reinterpret the Chalcedon decision. He really wanted to downplay the two-natured aspect of Jesus, you know, being God and man, and he wanted a more, like, united one, hypostasis. Now we have a fun one, the Third Council of Constantinople, 1680. Here they met to discuss monothelitism. See, they decided to condemn it and said, nope, the previous view was correct. Jesus was indeed two-natured. They did repeal the label of Pope Martin I being a heretic, though, you see. Previously, they said, that's heresy. And now they're like, oh, no, we believe the same thing. Our bad. Finally, the last of the 7 ecumenical councils. Hey, we'll go fast. I'm not saying it's boring, I'm just saying there's a lot of debate over the same thing of Jesus is God, is Jesus God, is... Yeah, there's a lot of that. In 1787, there's the Second Council of Nicaea. And now we get women involved. Empress Irene called the council to re-establish religious icons and depictions. Previously, they were banned as idolatry. Here they decided that images of religious figures, women and men, should be respected, but not worshipped, because that would be against the divine. And that's why I'm allowed to have this account.